Imagine you have been working in the UK maybe for 20 good years or 25 years or maybe even up to 30 good years. You've been working night shift, you've been working long day shift, you've been working even weekends. Sometimes you are missing your family, or sometimes you are sending money back home to build a project for you, or maybe just to support family back home. And then, just like the years go round, you realize you have already hit your 67 years, your retirement age. And then you realize that your pension is not enough for you. And then that house that you are building back home, and then you realize that that house is not generating enough income for you as well. And what if I told you that this is already happening to a lot of diasporan people right now? Now, let us talk about the pension mistakes that nobody warned you about. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Explore with Maria. And today's topic is very serious and it is very personal. Now, let me ask you something. You have worked 10 years, 20 years, or even 25 good years in the UK. But do you actually know what is happening to your pension? Or are you hoping that when you turn 60 or 67, that something will appear? Today, I want to talk about the big pension mistakes that many diasporan people are making and why some people regret it too late. And please watch this video to the end because mistake number 4 is the most dangerous one. But first, let me tell you a story about my uncle, Uncle Alaji. Uncle Alaji came to the UK in the early 2000s. He was working in the care home. He was working in the factories. He was working as a cleaner as well. That means Uncle Alaji was working like 3 different jobs at the same time. And he was a very hardworking man. At that time, he was a very strong man to be able to work those 3 jobs at the same time. And you know, in the UK, if you have multiple jobs, that is how they tax you. And every time the pension is being deducted from Uncle Alaji's salary, he will now say, "Oh, I won't even retire here. I'm not going to retire here. I'm going to go back home. I'm not staying here. I'm going back home. I don't even need the UK pension at all." And then fast forward, he opt out of the pension. That means he cancel his pension. And then fast forward, just 20 good years later, guess what? Uncle Alaji didn't go back home. He's still here in the UK. Because why? Now he's got his family. Now he's got his children. Now he started having grandchildren even. And they are all living here in the UK with him. And not only that, there is a lot of health complication now with Uncle Alaji. And guess what? Now retirement age is getting closer because Uncle Alaji, as currently as I'm speaking, is in his 59 years old. Because to him, his age retirement that government stated for him is age 60. He will be retired. And his pension pot is very, very small. So now, let's look at mistake number 1 because there are 5 mistakes in this video. So let's look at mistake number 1. Mistake number 1 is opting out of your work pension too early. You know, many diasporans think like, oh, I'm not going to retire here. I'm not staying here in the UK. Let me just opt out of the pension and let me use that money for now. And then I will use that money to build a house back home instead. But please listen carefully. Your future self will not clap for you if you ignored your pension. Even if you plan to relocate back home, your pension is still your money. It will still follow you wherever you go. Now, let me tell you another story about Auntie Memuna. Auntie Memuna works for the NHS for 12 good years and then she moves job. Now she has her own personal private job. But what happened? She forgot to update her address. And then years later, she realized that she has the NHS pension, she has the private pension, and also she has the workplace pension. And she didn't even know how much is inside of each pensions because some letters are sent to our whole address, which she doesn't have any access to. Because when she moves from one place to another, she never updated her address. So now, let us look at mistake number two. That is the mistake number two. Mistake number two is by not tracking your pension. That is exactly what happened to Auntie Memuna. She wasn't tracking her pension. She has multiple pensions all over the place, and she doesn't know how much she has on each of the pensions. So, what is this telling you about? You know, a lot of diasporans, a lot of us do multiple jobs. Sometimes we do agency jobs, sometimes we do private jobs, we do NHS jobs, we do care jobs, we do all sorts of jobs for different trusts or different companies. And we never get to update our addresses or to track our pensions. Because what we fail to realize is every different jobs has different pension schemes. And if you don't track it, you may lose contact of your own money. Now ask yourself, do you know how many pension pots you have already? Or do you know your retirement age? Or do you know your protected amount? If you don't, then this is your sign. Now, let us talk about story number three. And I know this is quite common for the diasporans community, including myself that I'm sitting here, which is my house back home is my pension. You know, a lot of us living in the diaspora, we always have this thinking, oh, I need to build a house back home. That house will be my pension. If I retired, I will go back home and then my house will generate income for my pension age. But you know, building back home is very good. Investing back home is very good too. But let me ask you something. That house that you build back home, is that house going to generate income for you? Is it a rental property or is somebody managing it for you? Because I have seen a lot of people building beautiful mansions, beautiful houses back home. And then immediately when they retired, they relocated back home to their mansion. And then they realized that there is no rental income coming in, there is no cash flow coming in, and you've got maintenance issues. Or sometimes you have a family dispute over income, over financial, because you started stranding because there is no cash flow coming in to support you. And then now what? So this is mistake number three. That is depending only on your property back home. I know property is an asset, but pension is very structured, is very protected, and is very consistent because you got to receive your pension on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. Money will still come. So my advice is do not put your entire retirement hoping on that property alone. So now, let us look at story number four, which is the most dangerous one. You know, I've had a lot of people, as soon as they started seeing pension being deducted from their salary, you've got the state pension, you've got the workplace pension. And then some people started saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to retire very early. I'm going to retire very early, and then I will just withdraw a lump sum of my pension. And then they will go ahead Some will retire early. Some will even retire as early as 40, 45, or 50. And then they withdraw a lump sum of their pension. And then they started using that pension money now, sending it back home, building gradually. What they don't realize is that pension money, I'm not against of you retiring early, but that pension money that you are taking, that lump sum that you're taking your pension out as early as possible. That pension money was meant to grow for 20 years or even up to 30 years. When you remove it too early, you will lose the growth of that pension, and you will also reduce your retirement income. And not only that, you will also pay a tax penalties if you remove your pension too early. So what is the mistake number 4 here? By taking your pension too early, you are thinking the short term rather than long term. I know diaspora's pressure is real, and also family demands or requests is also real. But your retirement poverty is also real. So, what I'm saying here is you must balance your responsibilities with your future security. Do not take your pension too early. Leave it there to grow for your security in the future. Because wherever you go, your pension will follow you. And the more your pension stays there, the more your pension will grow. So now, let's look at story number 5, which is many people, they don't understand the pension rules. Do you know that in the UK, you need a qualifying 35 good years for you to qualify for a full state pension? You know, some diasporans, they have gaps. Sometimes you start working here today, and when they said qualifying 35 good years for you to earn a state pension, it means you've been working in the UK for 35 good years for you to get that state pension. And what some people they don't know is, what they don't realize is, by having gaps on their employment history. Let me say, for example, okay, you work on the NHS today, maybe you work for 5 or 10 good years, and then maybe you skip, you stop working, or maybe you're doing something else which is not taxable, or you're not paying any pension, or you're not on the workforce. And then maybe after 1 or 2 years later, that is a gap. And then you find another job, and then maybe you start working on that job and you left it, and you have another gap for 6 months or maybe up to a year, and then you go back to another job. So those gaps that you are seeing, those gaps does not count on the 35 years. When they said 35 qualifying years, that means you work non-stop without any gap of that 35 before you will be qualified enough for state pension. And sometimes those gap years is not because you're not working. Some people might get maybe a cash job where they will pay you money. They're not paying you through the NI or national insurance scheme. That means you're not paying tax for that money. You work, they pay you in cash. And you think, or some people will do just cash job thinking that, oh, they are lucky because they are not paying national insurance. Then at your retirement, when your retirement age hits you, then you will get the shock of your life, because your retirement pension that you will be receiving, you realize that it is a very low amount, which is nothing at all. Because why? You were not paying the national insurance, or you are not paying any pension contribution, because you are doing cash jobs. So, what is the mistake number 5 here? The mistake number 5 is by not checking your national insurance record. Let me just say this. For those people who maybe they have career breaks, maybe you have career breaks, yeah? Maybe something else happens to you, then you break off work. In order to avoid any gaps on your employment, you can do voluntary work. And those voluntary work, they will still ask for your NI. Make sure you use your NI on any voluntary work. Use your NI because that's your NI. When you check it online, that is part of your contribution. It will state your record that you've been employed, even if it's voluntary, even if something that you are not getting paid for. Just include your national insurance that you are doing something, that you are contributing to the system. So always check your national insurance contribution to ensure that there is no gap on your employment. If you have had any gap on your employment history, if there is any voluntary work you were doing before, please go and check your national insurance online and then make sure you complete those gap. Don't leave any gap. So these are the 5 biggest pension mistakes that diasporans made. So my people, we have worked very hard in abroad. Some of us, we do night shift, we do long day shift, we work in the care home. Some of us work in the security. Some of us work in factories. Some of us even work as nannies or cleaners. Please do not let all those years pass by without securing your old age. Building back home is very beautiful, but protecting your future is very powerful. So if you find this video very helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who is currently in the diaspora working very hard. Subscribe to Explore with Maria, and I will see you on the next video. Take care now. I love you all.